The end of week 4 of 2026. So I guess we're nearly a month in. That's crazy. Um, so yeah, we got the review of what we've done. So it seems like I made a lot of candy this week. So we made the Riku cuff. This was I would have finished it last week, but I need to go buy beads. And then I started a Kyrie cuff, but also ran out of black beads again. This seems to be a problem. I made this one, which is like got a flower on it, and I made this one that's like pumpkin themed. So like these beads are like little jack-o'-lanterns. I had I think about half of this filled, but now there's 30 in here, so I think I made like 17. I think I had 13 already done. I need to eat the ice cream for the pink bucket, which like I'm gonna have different things, and I added some more of these, but I think I had 8, and now I have, hold up, how many do I have now? I had 8 before. Sweet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so I've made about half, because I put like 30 in each bucket. Oh, over here, this is a video I made. You can go watch that. I forgot that I had everything up on my computer. Oh, all my tabs are open on my computer. Just exposing myself, why not? I also continued my sonnet making, so I've now written 14 sonnets. And I feel like that the last couple of sonnets, I've been more and more interested in learning about Shakespeare. So I've actually added a book to my academic to read list. Because I found this book that's basically intended to be sort of Shakespeare's sonnets in the closest we can get to a chronological order. So like the typical order, which is what I've got here, that they're published in, isn't believed to be the order that Shakespeare actually wrote the sonnets. And so this text has, like, you know, the sonnets in order and explaining sort of, I guess, like, comparing to other works and the estimated dates for those to try and figure out when they're written. And, like, just, I feel like that it could be an interesting experience how that impacts the way it's interpreted. But yeah, I feel like that the more I write the sonnets, the more I'm less interested in the individual sonnets and what they're doing, and more Shakespeare as a whole and how the collection works as a holistic text. And yeah, asking more questions about sort of the Elizabethan period, you know, trying to understand, because like part of what inspired me to start writing the sonnets was I heard that he wrote like over 100 of them to a guy, and I'm like, sonnets are known for their romance. That sounds kind of gay. So I'm like, well, is this actually gay? Let's go through and see. Because I had heard that one of the professors at my uni, who's basically like a Shakespeare expert, doesn't interpret it as gay. So I'm like, okay, why? Um, Honestly, I don't know how I feel. I mean, we're only 14 out of like 154 sonnets in, so that isn't the biggest sample space, but oh my gosh, I am so sick of Shakespeare telling this dude to have babies. So, okay, I'm 14 out of 17. The first 17 sonnets are part of the procreation sequence, which is basically 17 whole sonnets of Shakespeare talking to the fair youth, so this guy, saying, hey, you're so beautiful, you need to have children. Which I know, okay, today that sounds kind of weird, but at the time, you know, beauty was seen as sort of like a virtue and stuff. Like, there are some contextual things that makes it less weird, but also I'm like, Shakespeare, please move on. I am so sick of reading all these sonnets about you finding different ways to tell this guy to have kids. It's getting weird. So yeah, that's been an interesting journey. I am enjoying the actual act of sonnet writing. I don't know if I'm getting better. I hope so. I hope 14 sonnets in, I'm a little bit better than I was, but who knows? What else have we done this thing? So yeah, we made lots of candy. I also, for the thing, I've formatted a because, you know, with the cover pages, that's 16 pages, so that'll be, I guess, volume 1. I'll print that as a zine, and I'm gonna go to my uni and like to print that out and then hand in these ones to put in thing. I'm gonna make a video about it, but yeah, basically they've got like a hangouts place that's got like a book swap area. So I'm thinking maybe if I submit some zines and stuff, we can get a bit of like a uni zine library going. So they're all like, so I've got this extra one of this little thing, which is gonna be in the mall, you know, to encourage people to make zines. I want to see more zines in the world, and I guess I'm gonna try and initiate that. I also finished some books and movies. Actually, I think this week I was the most movies I watched because like over the weekend I was just felt blah. Like okay, I had a sleepover which was cool, but then like after that I just felt garbage for a couple of days. So Strictly Ballroom was last week. So yeah, I watched K-pop Demon Hunters. Like with my friends and stuff, we did the sing-along version. Then I watched Bratz Girls Really Rock for the first time. I have seen some Bratz movies, like I've seen Bratz Rock Angels. But I recently like Bratz Girls Really Rock was one of my favorite games as a kid. Like my friend had it and it was just peak, but they had it on the PlayStation 2. They didn't have a save cartridge, so I never got to finish it. And then I found it at the retro game store, and started playing it. But I was curious how it compared to the film because the start of the game, they are late to catch the bus and decide to skydive into camp. And I was curious, okay, maybe the movie provides more context. In the movie, they just catch the bus. This was purely added to the game to have a skydiving minigame. It's insane. Also watched Pan's Labyrinth, which I have seen before. That was one of the texts I did for English. And I also watched a documentary called Do I Sound Gay, which was really interesting. It did nearly make me, like, it did make me a bit uncomfortable at points, just because, like, you know, talking about homophobia and stuff. I was like, oh, this is kind of, yeah, and stuff. And then I've got, 2 more DVDs that I borrowed from the library to finish tonight. So I'm planning to watch Life Size, which is, like, kind of the premise is that she's a Barbie doll come to life, and then I'm gonna watch Pride and Prejudice and Zombies because one of the books that I reserved, so the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which you can see I watched earlier in the year. I watched the movie and I'm like, oh, I want to go read this. It wasn't at the bookshop, the library. I had to get it in, and it's finally in. So I'm gonna watch those 2 movies so that I can return it and pick up the reserved book. And yeah, I didn't finish a lot of books this fortnight, so I finished The Hate U Give and Naruto Volume 5, which I talked about that, that video's up. I need to buy volumes, 6 and 7. Oh my gosh, 6, 7, during, like, when I get paid tomorrow, because I'm very broke. I bought tea, I bought some things that, yeah, I went from, like, last week being like, wow, I actually didn't spend as much money as normal to being like, oh my gosh, I don't even have money for the bus. Do not check what bus fares are in Brisbane. That'll make me look really sad. So yeah, if anyone wants to come and like hack into my bank account, can you like put some money in there because there's nothing. It's sad. So yeah, I am enjoying reading Naruto. Naruto is cool. I also actually got to play, I think, Recoded like twice this week, which was great. I haven't had a chance to come back to my vampire research and stuff because the Suriku document is taking way longer to read through than I thought it would. So like I was trying to read I think it was Between Men was the one I was reading, and then Epistemology of the Closet was going to be second of the academic books that I borrowed. So yeah, I was going to read that and the Suriku, but I've decided I can only really handle a novel and like one, novel book, one sort of more academic text at once. So I'm up to page 224 of the Suriku doc out of 360. So it's like, I've made progress, but it's just taking way longer than I thought it would. So yeah, I currently have 3, so once I finish that, I've got 3 academic texts on my to-read list. I also started something cool. I started a commonplace book. I watched a YouTube video. Basically it's like I had my first page. So it's personal notebooks used to compile any information that, the owner finds interesting and stuff. Commonplace, essentially, as curated encyclopedia of your own interests. So yeah, I guess this is like other little researchy note things. So the first one was rhetorical figures. As you guys might have guessed, I like literature and stuff. So these are some cool techniques. And especially, reading through Shakespeare stuff and, knowing your rhetorical devices helps with that. We've got a recipe for tea because this was, I had just bought the tea. So I was curious about, fruit tea. Can you make fruit tea out of anything? Because I'm it's just, dried fruit. So, could I make tea? Still not actually fully sure. This one's about, Bratz. Because, I had just gotten the game. And I was this page is more anecdotal, more my opinion. This is actual history of Bratz and controversies. But this is me sort of talking about how I feel I don't know, the 2000s had this specific style of girl-oriented media that I haven't seen stuff of the same vibe for a while. Like how brats, like in a single movie they can be like rock stars, run a magazine, they're fashionistas, they're like everything that all the cool things. They like yeah, they're rock stars, they'll be in movies, just all the cool glamorous stuff all at once. And I feel like we don't really, I don't know, maybe I don't watch enough kids media, maybe that exists. But like especially if you compare like Bratz to something like Rainbow High. Rainbow High, like as a school, would suck to go to. If anyone's seen Rainbow High, it's insane. It like more feels. I mean, I haven't seen some of the later seasons, but like in the first couple of seasons, it's kind of giving like reality TV show. Like it's brutal. And then I also drew Kyrie in the Bratz style because I feel like Kyrie would be a Bratz girly. And then I wrote a list of like films I want to watch that I haven't seen before. So, I guess we can go through some of these, because I can explain sort of why. So, Tron and Tron Legacy are because Tron's in Kingdom Hearts. I haven't seen the Tron films. I would include Tron Ares, but I haven't heard great things about that. Tron Ares just came out, so it doesn't relate to Kingdom Hearts. And I'm thinking, like, I've already committed to 2 in the franchise. If I like the other 2 enough, maybe I'll watch Tron Ares, but it's not a priority. Then I've got Fantasia, because I actually kind of like classical music. Like, I've been playing violin since, like, 2014. You know, I like it, and I'm kind of curious to see, like, what Yensid does, and also Chernobog and things. But yeah, I feel like again, that's just Kingdom Hearts. High School Musical 2 and High School Musical 3, because I've seen High School Musical 1, but I haven't seen 2 and 3, and Bet on It was like my second most played song of 2025, so I'm like, I really need to actually go watch the High School Musical movies, because clearly the music resonates with me, so I'm probably going to like them. Unless it's like Grease, because I like the songs in Grease, but the characters and plot of Grease annoys me. I think it's Danny. If Danny was more likable and like, yeah, didn't suck, maybe I would like Grease more. Rocky Horror Picture Show, just because I've heard it's like a camp classic, and I'm like, I kind of like campy stuff. A Minecraft movie, I intended to like watch this last year, but just when it like, I didn't want to see it in cinemas, partially because they sound like they were very chaotic, and also like, I wasn't quite invested enough to go see it in cinemas, especially because, like, I wasn't invited by any specific friends or things. But when it came out, it didn't come out on the streaming services I have access to. So that's something that I just haven't gotten around seeing. Time to Duel is a Tubi 40-minute live-action Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie, and it looks so budget and bodgy that I just must watch it. Howl's Moving Castle. I feel like I'm going to like Hal. I've seen Princess Mononoke. We went and saw that in cinemas last year. Like, it was a subtitled version. It was really cool. And yeah, I just feel like of all the Studio Ghibli films, I think that's how you say it, Howl's Moving Castle is the one I'm most interested in. And also I have someone that I live with owns the books as well. I want to see Hamilton, like the what's it called? The recording thingy. Because I like musicals, and I mean, I feel like that I probably would like Hamilton. That was the one everyone liked there for a while. Juno is for uni, so I've read all the books that I've got to read before the trimester starts, but I've got to watch the film Juno. The Craft, honestly, like, I remember that my mom, like, has mentioned that she liked it as a teenager, and just looking at it, it has a cool, like, the characters look cool. Rose of Versailles, some of these, like, I think from, like, here, I went onto Netflix, because I was, like, I built up half a page, and I wanted a couple more, because I haven't seen that many movies, to be honest. But yeah, the Rose of Versailles, it's like, oh yeah, this is an anime musical, and I'm like, that sounds cool. Wild Robot, I remember everyone gushing over that film. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, see, I saw the first one, but then, like, I was gonna go watch the next one, but because I'd already waited a while, and I was like, oh, I'll just wait and watch the both of them together, but I think it's been delayed even more, so I'm like, I may as well go and watch it at this point, because, like, I find them pretty. The Del Toro's Pinocchio, because, see, I like Pan's Labyrinth. I did find it a bit squeamish at times. I forgot how violent it can get, like, because it had been a while since I'd seen it. But I also liked his Frankenstein. I haven't read Frankenstein. I should probably mention that, because I know that it was kind of controversial with book fans. But I'm like, I've liked stuff, and I also think I've, like, vaguely remember that I've seen parts of Hellboy, so I've liked other things that he's made. And also, I want to see his Pinocchio, but then I also want to see Pinocchio a true story because it's kind of a joke in my friend group because we say like, "Father, I want to go out and be on my own. I've got the whole world to see." And so I kind of want to go see I want to watch that movie because we already make jokes about that scene. The sticky tape is not sticking. The Mitchells. Oh wait. Wicked for Good. I've seen Wicked Part 1. I'd like to eventually get around to, like, see part 2. The Mitchells vs. the Machines. It just looks cool and it's got the autism rep. Bubble it was just an anime film that I saw that looked really pretty. Lesbian Vampire Killers is honestly because like I've got like my book of like vampire research and stuff, and on the it's one of the 150 top vampire films on IMDb, and I'm like, that name just intrigued me. Like, I don't wait. Okay, so are they lesbians? Are they lesbians who kill vampires? Is that Are we killing lesbian vampires, or are the vampire killers lesbians, is my question. Vamps was one that, like, was written, like, on the IMDb was right under it, and it kind of, based on the cover, looked like one of those sort of, like, chick flick films, and I like chick flicks. I find them that they're pretty nice films to just throw on, like, when I want to watch a movie but don't want to have to pay too much attention. Like, I like things like Mean Girls, Heathers. Actually, Heathers is probably different. I like Legally Blonde. Like, I like those kind of films. I like Pitch Perfect. So I'm like, maybe I'll like that one. Let the Right One In was... I think that was rated number 2 for vampire films on IMDb. Number 1 was a Nosferatu, but, like, from 1920 something. I think it was from really early. And I'm like, I'm not quite sure I'm ready for really early cinema. So this was, like, one of the top rated vampire films that was, like, recent enough that I feel like it's a bit more accessible as a place to start as someone who hasn't seen that many films. It'd be like, you know, getting someone to start straight with, like, Shakespeare or, like, classics from, like, starting straight with Dickens is a bad idea. So I feel like, you know, working my way up to maybe some of these more classical films, if that makes sense. And then Memoir of a Snail is by the same studio that made Mary and Max, which is a film I really liked. It was like a stop motion. I think it was stop motion. But yeah, it was like a film about like this autistic guy and girl, and it had a really cool art style. And yeah, that's another film by that studio that I'm like, oh, that's kind of curious. And then here's my list of like academic texts. This was me doing some like businessy stuff research. I also have my iPad's over too far away, but I did a page where basically I found a government website that had a business sort of plan guide thingy. A business plan, I think, is what it was called. And I kind of like filled that out because I want to start, you know, doing markets and things. Like, I've also been picking up, you know, making more candy for it. But I started off with like articles specifically about art markets, but a lot of them are this like blog format that didn't feel particularly helpful. Like, there's no way to verify what they know how they're talking about. They're like, and it just feels like things that you've already thought of. Like, it's not really going that in depth. It's like things like, yeah, make sure that you have products at different price points, or like just things that I'm like, yeah, I feel like I already know this. I feel like that there's things that I'm forgetting about or missing that I need. Honestly, I know that like back in high school, I did post some business study videos. Like, I posted videos about explaining the content. I am half tempted to go and find. I think I only made one. I'm kind of tempted to go find that YouTube channel and watch my old business studies videos because I was good at business studies. Like, it's really funny. I feel like I'm good at business in theory, but like I don't have the right personality for it. Like, I think I care too much about morals and like treating people like people to be super good at this, because like it's also like things like, oh, you know, right, because there was something about like, you know, write about your main competitors, and it's like, well, I don't like thinking about other artists as competitors. That feels gross. And like, you know, working against forming community and making friends. So yeah, stuff like that. I'm too, I don't know, hippy dippy for it or something. But yeah, I was good at business studies. Like, I came like first in basically all the Catholic schools in my city. Well, in the year that I graduated. I got like a trophy and stuff. It was kind of cool. Yeah, I think that's basically... Oh, wait, no, I got the big boy. I forgot to show off the big boy. So, okay, last week we did this page, and this week we got one more page. I would have liked to do more, but considering, like, the weekend I was basically, like, sick and stuff, did not help. But we got a page done. And honestly, like, even if it means, what, like, it'll take, like, half a year at this rate of, like, a page a week, which I think that I should be able to draw more pages at different points, but even, I'm okay with, like, this. Like, is it ideal? Not really, but it's better than nothing, and a page a week is still getting it done. So yeah, we've got more of the story. This page is, like, gonna be, like, a, full color illustration, and I like to do those last, because then my art's gonna be as good as possible. So yeah, there'll be, like, the cover piece, first page, like, those title chapters. I also wait, okay, I'm going to pause for a second, because I do want to grab my iPad, because I actually designed the logo as well, and I want to show that off. So this is the logo I went with. So, like, I started with this one first, and it wasn't quite right. And then I tried a different font. This font's called Mr. Darcy, and it's funny. Okay, so this is the font used in the Has-Been Hotel marketing. But it is also the font used in the Rise of Red sing-along edition. In, what was the song? I think it was maybe the last, like, the reprise of, life is sweet when you are, that song. But yeah, I noticed, I'm like, wait, I recognize that font. And I tried again, because I think this was the right font, but I was like, those colors aren't quite right. I like these sort of things, but yeah. So it's kind of like this, got this warm sort of purple, because I wanted that, you know, that, like, I liked the sort of warmth of like, these more, like, magenta-y purples. And yeah, this is the, where's the business thingy? I've also, so that, like, I can keep track of, like, things a bit better, this is all, like, over a sticky note so I can see the one day. So yeah, this is the stuff I did yesterday, researching for it. And I guess I'll do some more tonight whilst I'm watching movies. But yeah, that's basically, like, my week. I feel like I keep yapping longer and longer each time. I think I did more stuff last week. Half of this video was me just explaining what movies I wanted to watch. I mean, I also did the cool thing of, like, you should, on my computer, you should go watch my last video before this one. It's totally cool. And yeah, I guess tomorrow I'm gonna go to my uni, and they're gonna have copies of sonnets and other poems, and talking about Kingdom Hearts, because what else would I make a zine about? Except for the fact that Donald Duck is peak fashion. Like, obviously. So yeah, I'm happy with my progress. I might also make, like, I probably should do a month reflection at some point. Like, I know there's a couple more days of January, so I won't do it today, but I probably should reflect on, like, the month as a whole, maybe think of things like I want to do better in February and stuff. Because, yeah, now we've got a couple of weeks to sort of, you know, draw from. So, yeah, that might be something to do. Okay, something I forgot to add. I drew this. This is, of Dark Lords and Cabbages. Go read it on Webtoon. So I drew, Gendry, the main character, as a little chibi. I do plan to also draw the, other guy, Seiren, which is the other main character. But I forgot to mention this, and this is actually something I'm kind of proud of. The original creator saw it and thought it was cute, so that's a win.